I realize how important Ahsoka is to you. I realize how important Star Wars is to you. To me, Ahsoka is not just a role, it's a responsibility. And, we're about to celebrate 50 years of Star Wars in 2027, and I want, yes, and I'm looking towards the next 50 after that. And I view being a part of Star Wars as such an honor and responsibility where I want to help be an ambassador and I want to carry it forward through the next 50. And so you mean the world to me. Star Wars means the world to me. I hope I can be a Star Wars ambassador for you. You're stuck with me, Star Wars fans, and I hope that's okay.
Hey everyone, got a video for you today. This one's kind of neat. Let's bring this up and take a look. Courtesy of the great MSN. It says Ahsoka Tano actor Ashley Eckstein's brilliant Star Wars movie pitch. Let's find out what it is. Original Ahsoka Tano actor Ashley Eckstein just shared her brilliant idea for a Star Wars movie, and the franchise really should take this concept seriously. Although Rosario Dawson has been the face of live-action Ahsoka for several years now and has done a brilliant job in the role, so they say, it was Eckstein who first brought Ahsoka to life. She sure did. Introduced in Star Wars: The Clone Wars, Ahsoka changed Star Wars movies and TV shows forever, as she was revealed to be the previously unknown Jedi Padawan of none other than Anakin Skywalker. Since then, Ahsoka has only had even more influence on the Star Wars timeline and grown increasingly beloved with time. Indeed, since her debut, Ahsoka has been a mainstay in Star Wars. But now Eckstein has just pitched the perfect next story for Ahsoka, and Star Wars really should consider it. Ashley Eckstein wants an animated Ahsoka movie. Speaking with Comic Book, Eckstein revealed that she is interested in an animated Ahsoka movie that would fill in the current gaps in Ahsoka's Star Wars timeline. Specifically, Eckstein said, "I would love to have an animated Ahsoka movie at some point. There's so many stories left to tell. There's such a big gap still between Clone Wars and where we pick up with the Ahsoka series. There's so much more for me personally that I would like to do with Ahsoka. I think there's a lot more room for Ahsoka in animation," and I agree. Eckstein is right about this move, making sense for both Ahsoka and the larger Star Wars franchise as well. For one, as Eckstein herself voiced, there's still plenty we don't know about Ahsoka's story. Within the window of time that Eckstein mentioned, from the Clone Wars to Ahsoka, we rarely see Ahsoka on screen, even as she pops up in other shows. We know that she worked as Fulcrum during the Dark Times, for example, but we've entirely missed out on her training of a Padawan, Sabine Wren. There are also questions about where Ahsoka was during the original trilogy, yes, which Star Wars really needs to address. Ahsoka is such a major and beloved character, and it's unlike her to sit out the Galactic Civil War, especially given that she found out during Rebels that her former master, Anakin Skywalker, became Darth Vader. Okay, I'm going to stop right there for a second. I wanted to get through the whole thing, but before I lose this train of thought, the problem we have here now is with Disney being in charge, Ahsoka's time during the original trilogy, she will be placed on an island somewhere and be miserable and an old grump like Jake Skywalker there, unfortunately. So I think we know what Disney will have her do to sit out the Galactic Civil War. But anyway, moving on. Getting an answer about this absence would be a positive thing for fans, and Eckstein is equally right that animation opens up so many opportunities when it comes to such stories. With Eckstein voicing her, Ahsoka's story could be picked up at any point in the timeline. In fact, this could even work to contextualize Ahsoka that much more. Star Wars has honored animation for decades, but never like this. As mentioned, Ahsoka was introduced in animation. In fact, her first appearance was in an animated movie, the Clone Wars movie, which is certainly not a typical medium for Star Wars. An animated Ahsoka movie would therefore be an unusual project, but it's one that would fit Ahsoka perhaps more than any other Star Wars character. Ahsoka's transition to live action has been a successful one, and her character will undoubtedly continue to shine in Ahsoka Season 2. I'm not sure about that. Anyway, however, animation remains so important to Ahsoka's larger Star Wars history, and it would feel right for her story to be fleshed out in a medium even as shows like Ahsoka are ongoing. This would also no doubt be a step above the Clone Wars movie. Sadly, that remains Star Wars' lowest rated movie, in part because it's heavily geared towards children, so adult reviewers generally aren't the target demographic. Yet, it's difficult to imagine that Star Wars wouldn't throw significantly more weight behind an animated Ahsoka movie. After all, at this point, Ahsoka is well established as one of Star Wars' best characters. And even as an animated movie, this would draw viewers. I think it would too. The same was not necessarily true of the Clone Wars movie, which was rather experimental and was introducing Ahsoka without knowing what the reception would be, and it initially ended up being mixed. Star Wars has also proven just how much the franchise can do with animation at this point. And in nearly 2 decades since the Clone Wars movie debuted, the possibilities for story such as the one Eckstein proposed are considerably greater. Ashley Eckstein is right. This Ahsoka story needs telling. There are, of course, going to be naysayers who claim this movie isn't needed, but Eckstein has actually raised a great point about Ahsoka's story. There really are still many periods in Ahsoka's life we don't know much about, including the aforementioned issue with her absence in the original trilogy. Again, let's hope she's not put on an island, throwing lightsabers over her shoulder. This movie would therefore serve a clear purpose. In addition to being an exciting new addition to the franchise, Star Wars could even pull from source material that has never made its way on screen, such as with the Ahsoka novel written by E.K. Johnston. That story explored Ahsoka's experiences immediately following the fall of the Jedi and the Republic and the trauma she lived with as a result of Order 66. Elements of that have popped up in other shows, such as Star Wars Tales of the Jedi, but the full story deserves to be told on screen. While it's unclear whether Star Wars would ever consider an animated Ahsoka Tano movie, Ashley Eckstein's pitch is brilliant, and it's worthwhile for the franchise to consider. I fully agree, because number one, for those of you all who never saw the Clone Wars, okay, let me just tell you, it is actual canon, and the stories are very good. You owe it to yourself, if you're a diehard Star Wars fan, to watch the Clone Wars. Now, I will say the first 3 seasons, and I say this to anyone, whoever I recommend the Clone Wars to, the first 3 seasons are a little slow, but you have to watch them to get the relationship, the growing relationship between Ahsoka and Anakin. But then after that, man, the last 4 seasons they're brilliant. They're great. There's a lot of excitement, and there's even a little evil Yoda in an episode. So it's pretty cool. A lot of Darth Maul stuff, Darth Maul's brother. We dig into a lot of cool stuff in Star Wars lore and history. So you definitely need to watch the Clone Wars if you haven't done so. But the thing of it is I have always felt that Ashley should have played the live action Ahsoka. I never got why everyone was so hell-bent on having Rosario Dawson. I remember years ago on my Facebook page, I actually got a lot of grief off of some people because I suggested Ashley play Ahsoka. People were calling me a racist and everything because I wanted a white girl to play Ahsoka. And I was saying, well, she's voiced by a white girl, but some people were attacking me saying, well, she's a woman of color. I'm like, how do you get that she's a woman of color? I mean, you're the one saying what? Because she has a wide nose and big lips, she's a woman of color. I'm not the one who sounds racist here, but anyway, she was voiced by Ashley. Now, on the flip side, in the Ahsoka series, Lars Mikkelsen got to play Grand Admiral Thrawn. And because he voiced him in Rebels. Now, why was it fair that he got to play Grand Admiral Thrawn, just because he voiced him, but Ashley could not play Ahsoka, even though she voiced Ahsoka. I mean, Grand Admiral Thrawn, in all the artwork and concept art and everything I've ever seen, it was always a slim, imposing figure. Okay, and no offense to Lars Mikkelsen, but he doesn't really look, and even with the makeup, he doesn't really look anything like Grand Admiral Thrawn. Thrawn was always like, he had like a chiseled physique and a slim, tight face that was intimidating, right? For those that argue that Ashley wouldn't make a good Ahsoka, I'm going to put up some pictures here so you can see she has cosplayed her in the past. And let me also say that if they decided to go the route with some facial prosthetics and everything, with nose, lip, things like that, now you can't tell me that Ashley wouldn't be gung-ho to get in that makeup chair as early as possible, sitting there whistling while she worked for hours as they applied makeup and things like that. That's how much she loves the character. So I believe personally that is what is missing in the Ahsoka series, and the portrayal of Ahsoka by Rosario Dawson, even in The Mandalorian, the personality of Ahsoka, because even if Rosario, her facial features do resemble Ahsoka a little more, I would gladly lose the facial features and have the heart and soul of Ahsoka. And that's exactly what Ashley Eckstein is. She is the heart and soul of Ahsoka. And that is what Ahsoka live action is missing. The heart and soul of Ahsoka. So going back to Grand Admiral Thrawn, I know this isn't really supposed to be about him, but holy smokes, man. The live action Grand Admiral Thrawn is kind of, to me, as big a downgrade as the going from the William Shatner mask in Halloween 1 to the whatever they used for Halloween 4. It's as big a downgrade as that. So anyway, these are my opinions, folks. So let me know what you think in the comments. I mean, are you fine with Rosario? Nothing against Rosario Dawson either, by the way. A year ago, I was at a Comic-Con, Fan Expo, and I ended up standing in line for over an hour, and I was right next to Rosario Dawson. And most of the cast from Ahsoka was there. And Rosario stayed there the entire time, talking to fans. She was very pleasant. I will give her that. She was a trooper. Where the rest of the cast, they seemed like they didn't want to be bothered. And they were nowhere near the level of stardom as Rosario. She was nice as can be. I will give her that. So no disrespect to Rosario. But in my opinion, hashtag Ashley is Ahsoka. So that's it, folks. Let me know what you think in the comment. Would you like to see Ashley Eckstein do an animated Ahsoka movie? Don't forget to do all that cool YouTube stuff. Like, share, subscribe, and maybe leave a comment, like I said, and it helps with the algorithm and helps push the channel forward. And in the meantime, don't forget to take care of yourself, take care of each other, and why? Take it easy. When you can take it, sleazy.
Exit light, pursue night, grasp your prey, hold on tight. Dreamless peace is what you get.